And we are live. Welcome back to F1 Fanatics. I'm Mike. This is our Quali live reaction, and thank you everyone for joining in. Bit of a different one, obviously, with the webcam going bust. My phone seems to probably be a better one. So, first time streaming on the phone. I'm not sure where the chat will be. I'll see if I can kind of get that up as we go along from here as well. But yeah, thank you for coming on. Lewis Hamilton claims another pole position in the Spanish Grand Prix. Look, it's going to be one of the two Mercedes guys this season's really because yeah, why wouldn't it be the two Mercedes guys in this position? Because their car is just so stupidly quick. But Valtteri Bottas, a big chance for him to kind of miss out. Hi, JB. Thanks for coming in chat. Obviously, yeah, oh, it pops up. That's quite a weird one, having it on there. But yes, Valtteri Bottas, really big opportunity missed. And I'm sure Max Verstappen would have much preferred going for now. Bottas is Emil Heskey for F1. David Xavier, hi, Mike. Hi, David. Welcome. Thanks for coming into chat. Going on that front. But yeah, oh, Bottas, such a missed opportunity. Really frustrating on that front. And then below that was pretty obvious. As I'm on my phone, I don't usually have the kind of thing from there. So I'm going to try and go from the running order from what I remember. So Giovinazzi started in P20. Nicholas Latifi P19 with George Russell in P18. Williams really struggled qualifying. Obviously, George Russell has been in a bit of form of getting his car into Q2. But yeah, here at Spain, it seems like it's dropped behind its competitors a little bit again. And Giovinazzi just really struggled to put anything together. Roman Grosjean was in P17. Yeah, Renault was definitely disappointing. We'll come up in there. Hi, Nico is pondering. Thanks for joining in the chat. But yeah, Grosjean was 17th, disappointing after the pace that he showed in the kind of free practice sessions, but it shows that free practice sessions you can't really take too much from in terms of the pace because of the type of programs that people are running. And also in P16, Kevin Magnussen was the last, and that was our Q1 exits. Then moving into Q2, Esteban Ocon in P15, and like David Xavier just said in chat there, it was a very disappointing day at the office for Renault. P14, fantastic qualifying performance from Kimi Raikkonen. Honestly, that Alfa Romeo is awful this year, and it's said maybe he's been struggling with motivation, but his race performances at times, there's been some very good performances from Kimi Raikkonen, and this is the first time that Alfa Romeo have got into Q2 this season. So fantastic performance from the experienced Finnish driver. In P13, it was Daniel Ricciardo, I believe. Yes, like I said, very disappointing for Renault. Just didn't really seem to have that qualifying pace there. P12 was Daniel Kvyat and been out-qualified by teammate Pierre Gasly again, but much better qualifying for Daniel Kvyat this week. And Sebastian Vettel getting knocked out in Q2 again, really struggling for the Ferrari driver there. Even with the new floor on this weekend, his lap was scrappy. He just doesn't kind of look happy with the car on track at all. And yeah, it's not a great place for Sebastian Vettel at all. Then rounding up the top 10. This is the complicated bit, trying to remember off the top of my head here. So it was Pierre Gasly who qualified P10. Charles Leclerc was P9. Lando Norris P8, and Carlos Sainz in his home Grand Prix out qualifying Lando Norris. So a big positive for him on that front. P6, Alexander Albon, a better qualifying performance for him, has to be said. So credit where credit is due there. Will it kind of set him up for a good performance in the race? He certainly will be hoping for. Then Lance Stroll was in P5 and Sergio Perez was in P4, rounding up the rest. And then we had Max Verstappen in usual kind of P3. It's going to be the usual top three for most of the year, I think. And obviously with Bottas getting P2 and Lewis Hamilton on pole. Have to say, it was one of the more meh qualifying sessions. Nothing really kind of fell into place. Probably the highlight of the whole qualifying session for me was the fact that Kimi Raikkonen managed to get into Q2. That was a fantastic performance. Josh says the racing points were a bit of a surprise today, given that both Checo and Lance are good on race pace. Tomorrow might spring a podium. They're going to have to rely on a Mercedes retirement or issues or a Max Verstappen retirement. Otherwise, those racing points, even though their race pace is good, will have no chance. But they both have a chance to finish ahead of Alexander Albon in the race, which will still be a positive performance, certainly, for the Racing Point team. But yeah, it was frustrating again from Valtteri Bottas. Tyre issues, possibly no. Yeah, FP1, obviously, yesterday, there looked a lot of graining on the tyres on Mercedes. And obviously, in these high temperatures, we know that Mercedes struggle a little bit more. Obviously, it's a harder compound than what we experienced last week in Silverstone. But yeah, definitely, there's definitely potential there for a podium for Racing Point. But then I would say Checo more than Lance Stroll if we were going to bet on someone here. He looks like he's come straight back into the flow. It doesn't seem like he's missed 2 weeks from obviously the British Grand Prix rounds that he missed due to contracting COVID-19. David Xavier, Grosjean was not happy. No, he wasn't happy. And it was disappointing because in FP2 and FP1 yesterday, I believe he was 5th in FP2 and 6th quickest in FP1. So on the qualifying sims, he was there, but he had to change a power unit overnight, I believe. And obviously, as soon as you make changes, these cars are so kind of delicate to set up changes that, even something as simple as just changing the engine in or out makes it, Grosjean hadn't had the same pace. So it is disappointing for Roman not to get through, but like I said, positive for Kimi Raikkonen managing to find a way through on that front. But yeah, Fergus, welcome to the chat. I missed Quali. Who's starting on what tyres? Give me the rundown, please. So on the tyre front, obviously we had no issues, or no kind of strategy differences in the teams this week in terms of tyre compounds. It was literally with the tyres, just straight, everyone went on softs. And obviously, if you went out in Q2 and Q1 respectively, you get free choice of tyres. So unfortunately, no interesting strategy from Red Bull, but I believe the times were so tight that they thought that the medium compound, even though it's the best race tyre for tomorrow, was too much of a gamble for Max to get into Q3 for this week on. So yeah, unfortunately, no spicy strategy on that front. But I don't know if that's whether, looking at the race pace data from FP1 and FP2, the Red Bull of Max Verstappen's race pace is very close to the Mercedes. So maybe they're just confident the fact that he's going to be able to compete with the Mercedes without having to take a risk on strategy and trying to get ahead of the Mercedes at the start of the Grand Prix, going on that front. But yeah, crazy. I suppose the real one to probably talk about today is just those Renaults. Renault, I've been saying, look really positive. Again, it's their race pace that looks a lot better than qualifying, and there's a fair few cars on the grid whose race pace looks better than their qualifying, which you want it to be, and Red Bull in Max Verstappen's hands, one of those. Racing Points actually, tend to have better race pace than they do qualifying pace. Renault's, the Hasses as well. So quite a few teams on the grid do experience that. But yeah, Renault will be very disappointed that at least one of their drivers wasn't in Q3 for today. So really, really disappointing. But starting in P13, P14, obviously, P15. Esteban Ocon started last week in P14 and ended up making his way into finishing P7 in the race. And Ricciardo has been outperforming Ocon this season. So a decent points finish for both of them, and to finish ahead of the McLarens isn't entirely out of the question, especially with the McLarens' one-lap pace being traditionally better than their race pace so far this season. So Again, the midfield looks so exciting. I really, that is probably my big excitement for the race tomorrow. And with that tyre use, is it going to be, yeah, is it going to be a situation where they're it's going to struggle. Anyway, I've seen the chats here. Sorry, I've missed some of these chats. Like I said, first time stream on the phone, so catching up there. Hi, Rox. Thanks for coming in. Looking forward to the Albon overtakes. Doesn't have many cars to overtake, so I don't expect many ones from Albon. He'll do impressive if he beats the racing points, which is what he should do. That'll be good for Alexander Albon tomorrow. How could Raikkonen on a medium outqualify Ocon on a soft? No idea, if I'm being honest. Ocon, obviously, we have to remember, crashed in FP3 after that incident with Kevin Magnussen, where he was looking in his mirrors and lost track of Kevin Magnussen in front of him and crashed into the barrier. So the team did a fantastic job, meaning that he can actually qualify for the race tomorrow. But it does mean, with Esteban Ocon, that he was always probably going to struggle in qualifying today because, we've seen it with Albon this season before. A crash really can affect your setup, but also your confidence going around the track, even though it wasn't. Technically, it's a driver error from Ocon. Magnussen wasn't brake checking him. He was there. It was just a culmination of unfortunate events that led him to kind of binning it. But yeah, go from there. Roxanne, tomorrow's going to be tyre management. Boring race the whole race. Woohoo, not. Yeah, my face is definitely blown up, Fergus, because I'm on my phone, so it means, it's a little bit closer than holding. I can try and get it a little bit there, but that's me on a stretch. I'm certainly on that front. Sorry for getting such a close-up angle for this one, but I don't know, Rox. There still could be an interesting race tomorrow. I know Spain traditionally is a bit of a bore fest, but with the heat, with the tyre compounds, I'm expecting to see 2 stop strategies tomorrow, but it'll be interesting to see whether anyone can make the 1 stop work, a bit like Charles did last weekend out. But yeah, go. JB, will be interesting to see some overtakes from Albon, considering overtaking is very difficult. It will be. Albon, it's going to be interesting to see what his race is from there. He's in a better position, the best one he's qualified for a while, getting in P6. So he's in a good position to support Max Verstappen if he can get both of the racing points early tomorrow. So, yeah, Alex Albon, it will be fascinating to see. As Red Bull say, when he runs in clear air, his pace tends to be pretty good. So if he can get past the racing points, get in some clear air, because he won't keep up with Verstappen, but stop enough that, Mercedes can't use a pit stop to get an advantage over Verstappen, then I think that's the race that we need from Alexander Albon tomorrow. They said they were going to investigate Mag and Kvyat after Quali. Any idea what was that about? No idea. I didn't see. There wasn't really any replays at the time on that one. But yeah, and I presume it would be some sort of blocking. The traffic was pretty crazy, and now I'm not sure which way Magnussen or Kvyat it would be. Seeing as Kvyat went further, but Magnussen didn't really talk about it in his interview, so I presume it may have been Magnussen blocking Kvyat, but they may leave it as both have kind of got through into Kvyat qualified higher. Joseph O'Shaughnessy, thanks for joining in the chat again. Vettel has to retire now. I mean, retirement, maybe. It certainly needs the Ferrari season to end, because I just don't see where it's going to go up for Sebastian Vettel with Ferrari this season. Merck needs the second driver that can press Hamilton for pace. They need to bring back... Oh, spoilers alert on one of Josh's new videos coming out. Certainly on there for now. I'm not saying his name on a live stream, Josh. We can wait for the fun of that in your video. Who is Albon going to overtake the racing points? Yeah, Stroll. That is the only thing on there. My team is Stroll, Turbo, Perez, Ricciardo, Hamilton, Magnussen, Mercedes. Strong. Wish I took out Ricciardo instead of Norris. But overall, pretty decent from there. I would say, Ricardo still looks a pretty good bet for fantasy, for you fantasy players out there, because although, like I said, the qualifying's poor, he's not going to get great points today, but moving forward, obviously into tomorrow's race, I expect Ricardo's race pace to be better. Tyre management being key, where Ricardo's tyre management is usually pretty good, on that front. I would expect him to pick up some decent points in fantasy tomorrow. The ones to watch tomorrow are Rick and the Hasses. Think they might provide a good show. Yeah, definitely. The Hasses race pace, Magnussen in post qualifying interview chat. Sorry, I've just gone off screen. Post qualifying chat interview was saying that he was very happy with the Haas race pace, and it looked a lot better than the qualifying pace, as it has done all season realistically on that front. So should be good from there. P11 for Sebastian Vettel. Just Sebastian. It is sad seeing a former world champion just struggling so much. It is really sad to see, certainly on that front. But what about for you guys? What's your picks for the race tomorrow? What's your podium prediction going to be? I'm still fancying Max Verstappen for a win. I just feel good about Max Verstappen all week. I think Max is going to get the win. Lewis P2, and let's spice things up again. I did say Charles Leclerc, but I'm going to put Checo on the podium as well. So that's going to be my podium. A bit of a bold one. 3 different constructors. It's been the podium when it hasn't been Bottas on the podium. So yeah, I'm going to go for that one for my podium tomorrow. Anshit is awesome. Hamilton, Verstappen, Bottas. Yeah, probably a fair one. I think Verstappen's definitely got the beating of Bottas. But if Hamilton doesn't have the tyre issues that he had last week, then definitely, he should comfortably win this race in a track that he's done going from there. Warning, I put Max in both my other fantasy teams, so he will likely DNF. Rox, what are you playing at? Don't DNF him. Why did Kimi on the mediums in Q2? What? No idea. Maybe with the tyre temperatures, Kimi thought that, he could get more pace out of the medium compound than a soft compound. Obviously, we saw it last week, where the soft compound basically became a little bit obsolete. Seriously, though, Bottas, Verstappen, Perez for a podium from Josh. Very interesting on that. Yes, I didn't just ignore your Albon on the podium remark. It would be remarkable if he found a way to go from there. My top 5 is Arianto Palmer, and 3 is Arianto Palmer Winkelhock. JB, great top 3 there. Great top 3, certainly on that front. But yeah, wow, crazy. Pierre Gasly with another fantastic time to get him into Q3, but struggled in Q3. After that, didn't have his usual pace on there. I don't know if it's an issue, but Pierre Gasly continues to impress in qualifying. Can he back it up in the race again? Obviously, he struggled with tyre wear last week on Sunday, so it'd be interesting going for there. No one can break the Winkelhock. Absolutely. That was obviously Josh's last silent film. Certainly on that front. But yeah, no, that's probably thoughts from qualifying. Like I said, there wasn't really anything too eventful to talk about. I suppose, looking ahead to more of the race, it is the tyre degradation. We are kind of hoping to spice things up again. Spain's traditionally, as a MotoGP track, it's certainly a difficult one to overtake on. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Turn 1 is traditionally the spot that's going from there. Bold prediction from David Xavier. Kvyat beats Gasly. Could happen. Not bad. Obviously, Kvyat was a lot better on tyre management last week. And if Gasly struggles with tyres as well, they aren't as far apart on the grid this week that it's certainly possible for Daniel Kvyat to beat Gasly. So, David Xavier, that might be one that actually comes true. Saying on this one. Ansha is awesome. Master of strategy and ask around, just a clever fella. Is is this going on Marcus Winkelhock? Um, Magic Marcus gonna get that elusive win. They need to move the Spanish Grand Prix away from Catalonia, perhaps to Aragon, but not Jerez or Valencia. No, well, my friend actually went to the Valencia street circuit, or what's left of it, last year, and apparently there's a shanty town on part of the old Valencia street track. So don't worry, there is no kind of chance of Valencia hosting a Grand Prix anytime in the near future. Jerez, I saw, got rumoured today that they're talking about Istanbul and Jerez potentially being rounds later on in the season. Yeah, Jerez not traditionally a great circuit there. Aragon would go. Spain seems disappointing because yeah, I feel like they just need to build a new purpose-built track for Spain. But with Spain's economy, I guess it's fairly difficult to invest a large amount in building a specialist racetrack that should be good for overtaking, because we know who will be involved. It'll be Tilke, certainly influencing that one. JB, I oh, sorry. Sorry, I think that was my finger on there. There we go. Hello. I think we've got Mike back, certainly on that front. Is the audio back now? I'll leave it just for a sec. Let me know in chat where the audio has gone. Oh dear, can't be a Fnatic stream without exactly GP2, Mike. It's back, fantastic. But yes, Istanbul, brilliant to see racing there. That is a fantastic track, and Sepang as well. Both those would be brilliant. Hanoi, do you reckon they can get in? I think obviously they will be desperate. Yeah, welcome back. Thank you guys for being patient and waiting on the audio on that front. But yeah, everyone. It's difficult with Spain. Spain is one of those weekends where you just hope for some on-track action to happen, but the track doesn't naturally lend itself to it. And it's one of these tracks, especially in the modern era, where the cars are so long and wide that it makes it difficult to go from there. Who will get the fastest lap tomorrow? Now, David Xavier, that is a good question for sure. Fastest lap, I'm backing one of the Merc boys, but I'm going to go for Valtteri Bottas because I think Hamilton and Verstappen will be fighting, and Bottas might be allowed to do a free pit stop from there. Spain and France have some great circuits for driving, but none are good for racing. I'd agree with that. I think Circuit de Catalunya is a really tough challenge on a driver and a car for a race to go from there. But for racing, it just really doesn't help itself, certainly on that front, that's for sure. Your F1 play prediction, Rick, fastest lap for Danny Ricciardo. That's going to be interesting. JB, I'm going to say Stroll for fastest lap. Some interesting fastest laps in there. It could be interesting. Maybe even Alex Albon, if he gets into P4 ahead of the racing points and has a bit of a gap and can just pick for softs at the end of the Grand Prix. That certainly would be interesting on that. It would be interesting to see Magny Cors back. Yeah, no, France, there's just... I do think the Spanish and the French tracks in particular are such narrow tracks that really anything other than kind of F2 or F3 really struggles to go on there because the cars, like, I sound like a broken record, but they're just too long and too big on that front. But yeah, guys, I think that is probably looking at things, the qualifying live reaction for today. I think we've covered everything on track. Um, they should run. I mean, yeah, the Circuit de la Sarthe, that that would be mental. Oh, them also. That would be for Ferraris in a current state. They would lose so much time on that, Josh. But that would be amazing, kind of, to see F1 cars go on that track. To be fair, that certainly would be an interesting one. But yeah, guys, fairly uneventful qualifying. The usual top three in qualifying, but hopefully, fingers crossed, we're going to have an entertaining race tomorrow. It certainly would be like a 6-lap race, Rock. So it would be mental for how long that circuit is. But yeah, no, look, guys, literally, I think that's it for us today. I know I usually take a while to kind of go from here. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream as usual. Thank you for kind of great discussions in the chat. If you haven't already, please drop a thumbs up on the stream, helps us out, and obviously drop a subscribe if you are new around here and obviously haven't been with us. As always, look forward to being back for the race live reaction. We'll be back on the phone again rather than the laptop. So make sure you you'll get used to more zoomed in mic again. We do have a new webcam coming because I can show you here. This is our webcam. Nice little stuff there. This is what was been doing. Did about 4 live streams and then decided that it wasn't going to work anymore, which obviously is pretty naff. So we got another one coming in the post. But till then, we've got me on the live stream on the phone to go for now. But guys, have a great day. Enjoy it. Enjoy the F2 race. That should be coming up now. Enjoy the Indy qualifying if Indy's your thing. Interesting to see where Fernando Alonso will go. Obviously, I'm going to be keeping an eye on Fernando, and obviously the pole day for IndyCar tomorrow as well as the race there. But anyway, guys, have a great day. For now, you F1 fans, keep racing.